Crystals of Uayeia, Book 1, by Nathan Turner II. Prologue, Echoes of Genesis. Before fire fell from the sky and cities cracked beneath mechanical wings, there was harmony. The planet of Uayeia thrummed with ancient power, its vast rainforests stretched like emerald oceans, pulsing with bioluminescent flora and fauna. Trees soared into the heavens, their translucent leaves absorbing both sunlight and ambient crystal energy from the earth below. Rivers flowed with silver-blue water, enriched by resonance particles that gave life an otherworldly glow. The skies were alive with winged creatures that shimmered through sun and storm, their cries weaving into the natural song of a world untouched by war. At the heart of this living, breathing world were the Vailari, a people of grace and depth, as ancient as the stones that formed their sacred mountains. Tall and sinewy, their skin bore hues of red, orange, forest green, and every color of the rainbow, really. Their eyes glowed faintly, and beneath their flesh ran veins that shimmered with the light of resonance crystals, gems infused with elemental energy. The Vailari were not simply stewards of Uayeia. They were its symbiotic children, bound to it by ancient compacts and spiritual connection. They did not conquer nature, they communed with it. It was the Vailari who first shaped the dragons. Long before the records of time, they delved into the depths of Uayea's crust and discovered the crystals of resonance, fragments of the planet's core that hummed with frequencies attuned to elemental forces. With great reverence and ritual, the Vailari studied these crystals and learned to harness their power. It was not manipulation, but harmony. They called it the Great Bonding. By merging the DNA of Uayeia's most majestic beasts, serpent, falcon, panther, sharks, with dragon ancestry and resonance crystal energy, they created the guardians of their world. These were not mindless monsters or beasts of burden. Dragons were sacred beings, sentient, majestic, powerful. Each bonded to the Vailari not through domination, but through mutual respect and spiritual kinship. The dragons were as diverse as the elements themselves. The Emberfang tribe, dwellers of volcanic spires and fire plains, birthed the Pyrosaurans, massive winged dragons with molten scaled hides and breath of liquid flame. The Skyrend, high atop thunder peaks, bonded with Stormfangs, sleek skyborn serpents with wings crackling with lightning. The Deepkin, children of the ocean depths, swam beside the Leviatans, colossal sea dragons who churned waves with a flick of their tails. Others lived in secret, like the Umbervale with their shadowed silk shrouds, or the Silveran who whispered to their venomous thornmire drakes. For thousands of years, this balance held. Tribes lived, traded, and celebrated together in seasonal harmony. Sacred festivals honored the dragons and the elements. Crystal towers pulsed with energy, lighting the cities without flame or wire. The Vailari did not crave more. Their greatest aspiration was stillness, an eternal now, guided by the whisper of the world. Then came the humans. Earth had long been dying, a slow collapse of ecosystems, poisoned skies, and societal decay. The Exodus arcs left orbit in search of new life, bearing the last hope of humanity. 3 great colony ships reached Uayeia after decades of stasis travel. At first, the Vailari beheld them with wonder and suspicion. Strange, small beings wrapped in synthetic armor, eyes clouded with fear and ambition. Still, the Vailari welcomed them, as was their way. They shared food, shelter, and even knowledge. A few humans were granted access to dragon sanctuaries, chosen by the dragons themselves to witness the ancient rites of bonding. These early days were marked by cautious peace. Children of both races played together in floating villages. Mixed research teams explored the resonance fields, documenting flora and fauna with respect. But not all humans honored what they were given. Among them was Kale Virik, once a celebrated scientist and colonel aboard the Exodus arcs. Virik was a man driven not by curiosity, but by conquest. He saw potential in everything: the energy of the crystals, the power of dragons, the secrets of the Violari genome. To him, Uayeia was not a refuge, it was an opportunity. An opportunity was best seized through control. Using stolen blueprints and coerced researchers, Virik formed Dominus, dragon-oriented military initiative for national unification and subjugation, a clandestine program that weaponized the Violari's ancient techniques. The dragons of the sanctuaries were captured, dissected, and forcibly bred with earth creatures. Wolves, lions, snakes, hawks, sharks, even extinct species from DNA archives, merge with dragon embryos using synthetic resonance crystal cores. The result was the birth of new dragon hybrids, unnatural fusions bred for war, surveillance, and subjugation. The first true weapon was Triarch, born of lion's pride, eel's regeneration, and condor's wingspan. Triarch was fused with 3 artificial resonance crystals: fire, storm, and shadow. It grew rapidly, larger than any natural-born dragon, and more aggressive. Unlike the Violari's companions, Triarch was not free-willed. It was bound to a neural command interface worn only by Virik. When Triarch was unleashed upon the peaceful city of Ilarian Reach, the devastation was total. Crystal towers crumbled, dragons cried out in agony. The Council of Unity, an intertribal gathering of Violari and sympathetic humans, was incinerated in a single day. In the wake of the massacre, Virik proclaimed himself president of the unified colonies. He promised order, peace, prosperity through obedience. His HoloNet broadcast painted the Violari as dangerous mystics, hoarders of energy and secrets. Anyone found harboring dragons or practicing old Violari rites was branded as a traitor. The Violari were forced underground. Their cities became ruins swallowed by the jungle. Sanctuaries once filled with dragon song fell silent, looted for crystal and life. But hope is not so easily extinguished. In the ruins of a forgotten sanctuary, beneath the roots of the first tree, a spark stirred. Crystals began to glow once more. A heartbeat long silence began to pulse. A girl was born among flames. Her mother and father brutally executed during her childhood for defying Virik's edicts. The villagers whispered of omens, of resonant dreams and prophetic fire. She grew as an orphan, scarred and silent, but the dragons watched her. Even in hiding, their eyes never left her. The last of the old blood, the one foretold. Kaya, the last resonant. A girl with a fragment of every elemental lineage in her veins. A girl who would grow to ride the dragons not as beasts, but as brothers. A girl who would walk both paths, human and Violari, and bridge what war had sundered. As Virik tightens his grip and Dominus prepares its next evolution, old allies stir in secret. Rebellion blooms in the shadow of tyranny, and the crystals of resonance sing once more. The dragons are awakening, and Kaya is their fire-born voice.